This is going to be a quick review video on a couple of camfer and deburring tools. I actually had three I wanted to show you and give you my opinions, and it will just be my opinions of these, but I couldn't find one of them. I'll discuss that in a moment. My favorite is this one right here, and this one is, let me pan out a little bit, this one is an L.E. Wilson made for RCBS. Now I don't know what the difference is, and I'm not no expert, but I can tell you this. I had one of these that was given to me years ago, and it just worked fine, no problems at all. And after years of use, I thought I seen one on sale at Midway, and I thought, well, you know what, the one I have may be a little dull, and maybe should get a new one. So I bought it on sale, and I forget, it's about $10. Great buy, by the way. But before that time, before I bought this one, I had been given another one, which I can't find right now for some reason. I never use it, so I don't even know where it is, and so I hadn't kept up with it. But it was by Lee, and I didn't care for it at all. It was hard to hold in your hand. I actually stuck it into a piece of PVC pipe to make it longer so I could use it, which I never used it anyway because it was dull and just didn't do a good job. But this is another one I had bought. This is an RCBS, and I purchased it locally while I was trying to find a L.E. Wilson. But if you'll notice something strange about this one, it has no guide collet in the center here, like so. In comparison to the L.E. Wilson, if I can get both of these in my hand, you'll notice right here you have a guide center rod, and this RCBS one does not. Even though this L.E. Wilson says it's made for RCBS, to me this is so much better. It wasn't only the guide rod that sold me on it, but here's another issue I want to share with you. Let me get a case. And alright, if we're using this and we're going to camfer the inside, it is extremely sharp. I mean, you can feel very light pressure, and you can feel those cutting edges engaging that metal. And then on the other side, we can use this to deburr, and because of the guide, we don't have to worry about it jumping out. Okay? Alright, in comparison to this one, the RCBS, and the Lee that I had, you hear that? It's almost no engagement. I mean, this thing, it's almost brand new. I've used it very little, and it is so dull. It doesn't hardly, I mean, you really have to put some force behind it to get this thing to work. And then on the other side, when you go to deburr, there is no guide rod, so when you're in here and it just slips out on you. And I have actually gouged into my hand one time because I was trying to put so much pressure because this thing is so dull, and poked it into my finger. So not recommended. This is, I'm gonna see if I can get this in view. Turn it upright, and it probably helps. Let's see if we can shed some light. But this is a trimmer from RCBS. It is model number 17-60. Well, I guess that's the calibers it does, 17 through 60 caliber. But I would not recommend this at all. However, this other one, on the other hand, I could highly recommend. This is made for RCBS by L.E. Wilson, and it's got some very nice knurling on here that allows it to stay firm in your hand. It's got your guide rod, which is extremely important, but most importantly, I guess, is it is extremely sharp. I mean, this thing works well on brass. It just doesn't take much effort at all to get that angle cut on that brass case for yourself, and not very expensive either. And another benefit of these, having the guide rod, or any others I guess it does have a guide rod, is if you're doing a whole lot, look here, you could chuck this thing up in your drill, and in no time flat, you can. And I also use it to remove the military crimps. I just find it works better than anything else I've ever used. and it doesn't, you know, I can have good control over how much of that crimp that I'm actually cutting away, and it works really well for both of those functions. I actually have a few of them, and I'll have one set up for the military crimp removal, and one for camfer, one for deburring, and works really well. So if you're thinking about buying the L.E. Wilson camfer deburring tool, I could highly recommend it. God bless America. Happy reloading.